Stafford to Cup for the win. 23-20 the final score. Let's recap it right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5. And how poetic is that, Jamie? With Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford hooking up. Kupp, had a great case to be NFL MVP. I know he didn't win it. It was Aaron Rodgers, but he was the wide receiver MVP. He was arguably the fantasy MVP, and he comes through huge with that touchdown catch. And what did he end up with? 92 yards, and that is basically the low point for him. He's had 2 games all year with fewer than 92 yards, and he was at that exactly. So great way to finish it for the Rams, huh?
I don't understand. The Bengals should have treated him like Calvin Johnson in the red zone there. Like, just put every defender on him, essentially. Where else was Matthew Stafford going at that point, especially with Beckham out with the knee injury? So, you just got to give them credit. That final drive, obviously, the Bengals did a good job of containing Cooper Kupp comparatively. Like you said, last time these two teams met, it was a much different situation, but he went for over 200 yards against them in 2019. Again, that doesn't matter, but great job by the defense for the majority of the game for the Bengals. But obviously, money time, crunch time, Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp. It's what we saw all season long. And, Cooper Kupp deserving of the Super Bowl MVP based on his performance tonight.
And Aaron Donald making 2 huge plays in a row on 3rd down and then on 4th down, stopping Pirine just with his arm. That was such brute strength.
I don't understand that play call.
Look, you try to catch him off guard, I guess, but they obviously had some trouble in short yardage situations in this game. And
both teams.
Yeah, on the first drive of the game for the Bengals anyway, T. Higgins wide open, and he throws to Chase, turns it over on downs, and then the Rams capitalize. But
Pirine was wide open too.
Well, what stood out to you in this game? I was talking about it with a friend after. It's like, it was a really good game. It was exciting, but I don't know. It just felt a little anticlimactic. It was, I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't as thrilling, maybe because the defense was so good. It wasn't as thrilling as the final score would indicate.
No, I think, especially, I kept thinking about what you said about, a walk-off scenario.
Yeah, so close.
Scenario. And the way that it's set up, especially with the Rams missing the extra point early, 3-point game. McPherson's been so good, so consistent. Bengals with the ball, Joe Burrow's magic, that we've seen in the postseason. I thought, okay, we're going to get an overtime game here, and then we see how it all plays out. But, like you said, Donald makes those 2 plays. He came through at the end. I was also thinking about our conversation about Jimmy Garoppolo when Burrow spun around there trying to just do anything. It was different, 3rd down versus 4th down. But in any event, you're right. It wasn't the best finish that we were robbed, I guess, of a finish. Anticlimactic is a good way to put it. But there were some great moments. Certainly the 2 plays on Ramsey, obviously one being should have been a face mask on T. Higgins, but Jamar Chase just showing how special he is. Joe Burrow showing he's not afraid to go after arguably the best cornerback in the league on several times. I think it was ESPN stats and info. They tweeted out most yards that Ramsey's given up all season, or maybe his career. I don't even remember exactly what it was. But still, just some big moments there. Obviously, we're gonna have some interesting conversations fantasy wise about Cam Akers. This was kind of the nightmare scenario to an extent of him not having a good game. Not even just a mediocre game, bad.
Terrible.
Right.
I think this is a fantasy recap after all, and that's the biggest storyline here, right? I mean, a few weeks ago, Cam Akers looked like a surefire, I would say 2nd round, maybe early 3rd round pick. A lot of positivity. It's just a great spot to be the late.
I think he still is, though.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was, can he get back to top 15 overall pick? Can he get back to maybe in the 1st round conversation, just because of what this offense is and what this coach is, and assuming that McVay is going to come back. And they have some, questions on the offensive line because 3 guys could potentially be gone based on their free agent status and Whitworth if he's going to decide to retire. But I think, still, if Michelle leaves as expected, I know they showed a lot of faith in Henderson coming back from a 4-game absence with the knee injury and just, putting him in some key spots. Obviously, they need some help at the receiver position when Beckham went down. But, I think Akers, there'll be some questions, but I still think, just based on what his upside can be, what this role in this offense is. And again, whatever they do on the offensive line, I think you still got to trust them as still in that top 12 conversation. Probably somewhere, 10 to 15 is where he'll end up being ranked consensus wise, but there's still too much to like. And look, it's a 5-game season for him after one of the worst injuries that you could have. And so who knows where he's at health-wise, just been able to come back and play at this level is amazing enough. But, still everything that goes along with being an NFL player, it's tough 5 games in from that injury.
Last question for you here. Odell Beckham has a touchdown, has another long catch. He had 2 catches for 52 yards on 3 targets in a little less than a half, and he left with a knee injury. I don't know the severity of it right now, but was this a good thing? Was this a good game for Beckham's fantasy value or a bad game? Because he showed what he can do, but he got hurt again. That's obviously a big knock on him.
I mean, obviously it's a bad thing if you're, factoring in the injury clearly, which you have to. Assuming it's not surgical, and the fear would be that it's an ACL again, it's the same knee, that he's back and ready to go with whatever team he's playing for. I think he did wonders for himself going to Los Angeles. He looked like that guy again. Maybe never going to get to that 2014 season because he's going to be 30, and the injuries have certainly taken their toll on him regardless of whatever outcome is of this knee injury. But he rejuvenated himself. He showed you that he can be a playmaker. He showed you he can be a touchdown producer. Obviously, the last 2 playoff games coming into the Super Bowl, he looked like a star. He was going to have just a monster game. I mean, you said it, 2 for 53 and a touchdown. I don't think that he was going to win the MVP, but you just never know the way that the game would have played out. And obviously that should have been the mindset of the Bengals. Take away Cooper Kupp as best you can and let Odell Beckham beat you. And he might have. It changed the game. I mean, you saw the way that the Rams,
yes, it did.
Their offense just did not look the same. So, we'll get into this a lot more tomorrow. But I think Beckham, if he's healthy and can sign with the right team or stays with the Rams, Dave brought this up about the potential of them moving on from Robert Woods. If it's this duo again, you got to be really excited about Odell Beckham if he's healthy.
Yeah, and it was an opportunity for Van Jefferson to do something. He really did nothing. He wasn't getting separation, wasn't making contested catches, and that was disappointing. But the Rams win anyway in a very, very good game. I'll just call it that. It wasn't amazing. It was not going to be the most memorable Super Bowl ever, but it was a good game, and it was a great end to a great season. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams, 23-20 winners over the Cincinnati Bengals. Congratulations to the Bengals on a great, great season. Make sure you check out the full-length show on Monday. We're going to talk about this game and the fantasy values of the players on these respective teams going forward. And we'll talk